Inside NashVegas with Roger McCoy with special guest James Dupre from NBC's The Voice. Let's get it started. Yes, sir. Hey, y'all, I'm Roger McCoy. Welcome to Inside NashVegas. Because let's be realistic, Nashville really is a lot like Vegas, minus the casinos and if you had a twang. There is a saying on Broadway, what happens in Nashville should stay in Nashville. But we're going to highlight some of those happenings, chatting with different stars, writers, and even other folks who work inside the music industry. Again, I'm Roger McCoy, and I'm on 99.9 KISS Country. That's in Asheville, North Carolina, and you can listen to me through the iHeartRadio app weekday afternoons from 3 until 7. Please download the app. It's brand new, has some really cool new features. Now, mine is that little plug. Let's talk about who we're going to be chatting with later on in the show. That's going to be James Dupre. Now, he's from The Voice. Do you remember him? Everybody still wants to know, why'd you pick Adam over Blake if you wanted to sing country? We're not going to get into that. He's answered that question about 1,000 times, but we are going to talk about his new music and also what is going on in his life currently. But let's run down the top 5 right now of things that happened this week in Nashville. Number 5. Kimberly from Little Big Town. Congratulations, oh Gussie. You're a brand new mama. Now, she has a baby girl already with her husband, but now they have Dolly Grace. Little Big Town tweeted out a picture of the happy family together, and we were all like, oh. But then we were all like, wait, what? Hold on a second. Kimberly didn't look pregnant the last time we saw her. So we all picked up our phones and we started doing the creeping thing, right? We're like, ooh, she's not pregnant in that picture on Instagram. She's not pregnant in that picture on Twitter. And let's look at her Facebook page. Not pregnant there. Ooh, let's look at the pictures from CMT and the CMAs. Nope, not pregnant, and not pregnant. Okay, maybe I'm the only one who was creepy enough to do that. But I was like, where did the baby come from then? Do storks actually bring babies? Did I miss something? I thought that was made up. But then we later found out that the baby was adopted. So that only proves that Kim has a huge heart, which we already knew, and she loves children. And God bless you, hon. We are so excited for you, your husband, and your daughter, and now baby Dolly Grace, which, by the way, Dolly Parton was super excited to hear there was another Dolly in country music. All right, number 4, Jason Aldean announces his They Don't Know tour. They don't know the dates of when they're going to show up at the cities, because apparently, nowhere I looked anyway, I could find dates that corresponded with the cities they said they were going to go visit. But a lot of those cities are in Ohio, Florida, and California. And 2 out of those 3 are big redneck states. Come on, you've always heard that joke, a Florida man. And I'm from Ohio, so I can tell you there's a lot of rednecks up there. I do know that when Jason hits the road, he's going to have a lot of redneck ladies out in the audience being like, oh, Jason, I'll be your next Britney Care. Yeah, skip ahead. Number 3, Dierks Bentley jumped into a freezing lake and hung out there for 13 ungodly minutes. Why? Well, pretty simple. He wanted to make up for every day that he was late for his annual lake plunge challenge, and that was 13. So he stayed in the freezing 34-degree lake for 13 minutes. Now, you can watch that video on his Facebook page if you want, and by the way, all those links are listed right up underneath the description of this video. I've done polar bear plunges before, and once you do those, you have a whole new respect for hypothermia. So God bless you, Dierks. You are a much stronger man than I. Number 2, Reba McEntire is returning to TV. And no, it's not going to be a sitcom. It's going to be a drama where she plays a sheriff in Kentucky who goes head-to-head with an FBI agent who's been sent out to investigate her cases. I can see Reba doing that because she's versatile. She can play many roles. Where do you think I was going with that? And number 1, Cody Allan. Well, God bless you, Cody. He posted up on Instagram that he is gay. And he's been fighting with his sexuality his entire life. All I'm going to say is God bless you, buddy, and I wish you the very best. But I don't understand why people need to know that sort of information. Not that Cody is bad for letting people know about it, but the fact that we, as a society, have to know what happens in somebody's bedroom late at night, either across the street or halfway around the world. I don't care. That's his private life. He can live it any way he wants, because I like to live my private life any way I want. All right, let's check in now with James Dupre. That's Dupre, not Dupree. Who is on The Voice. Find out how he's doing at home with his family and what new music he's been working on as well. He checked in with us via Skype earlier this week. First off, I want to make sure I get this right, because I understand people have probably botched your name since the dawn of time, right?
Yep.
So it's James Dupre.
Correct.
Because I'm sure that folks have probably called you Dupree since you started elementary school.
Yes, more often than not, actually. It actually happens so much that I kind of don't even hear it anymore. Some other people I thought your name was pronounced Dupre, and I was like, well, yeah, well, they said Dupree, but I'm so used to it. But yeah, it's a French word. It means from the prairie.
Oh.
Yeah.
So are you from the prairie?
I'm actually from the Bayou, Bayou Chico, Louisiana.
So, and I have to ask this question. Since you're from the Bayou, did you ever go gator hunting or anything cool like that?
No, man, gators kind of freak me out. But we see them all the time, when we go fishing and stuff. They're everywhere.
What type of fishing are you into?
We go, well, I got recently into offshore fishing down in the Gulf, but I grew up fishing in the bayous and the lakes and stuff, catfish, bass, trout, that kind of stuff.
Smaller fish then.
Right. Yeah.
So now, since you're going out into the Gulf there, do some fishing, what kind of fish do you usually like to go catch?
Well, we do like red snapper, flounder, pretty much anything that we can hook onto. Yeah.
After your experience on The Voice, and I'm sure everybody's going to ask you the same questions. Why'd you pick Adam over Blake? I don't care about that. What I'm interested in, because I want to get down to the nitty gritty here. How do you keep your mama quiet? That's what I want to know, because I'm a parent of like 6 kids, and if my kid was on The Voice, I'd be like, "That's my boy," and I'd be telling everybody everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was kind of tough to do. They told us to not tell anybody who you think would not be able to keep it a secret, and so like my grandparents, my aunts and uncles had no idea. My parents knew, and my siblings knew, and I swore them to secrecy. I swore that I would murder them or something, if they told anybody. But no, it's and also, you said you had 6 kids. I have four sons, and they're all, the oldest one's 10. So they had to know about it. And I mean, that was
wow.
Like, how do you not go to school as a little kid and talk to your friends about that kind of stuff? But
was it a threat like, if you say a word, Santa will not come for the rest of your life?
Well, it was something like that. I think I told them that you guys are, you're old enough now that, you can keep a secret, and I need you to really keep this secret, and this and that. And they held up their end of the deal, so I was pretty proud of them. Yeah.
But so let's talk a little bit about what you do while you're not out on the road or while you're not out in the studio. Where would we find James Dupre?
I split my time between Nashville and Louisiana most of the time. So I like to go down there and spend time with the family, and we just, I like to have a good time, whatever I'm doing. When I'm at home right now in Nashville, and been writing a little bit this morning, and I'm not going out of town again until next weekend. So I got a lot of things coming up, a lot of exciting things, a new photo shoot coming up, and doing some more radio stuff. So yeah, it's exciting.
So are your kids involved in sports or any extracurricular activities you're involved in? Are you like the dad who's the coach of the team, or?
What's funny is that I was a terrible athlete, which was a little disappointing for my dad, I think, because I'm his oldest son. Thankfully, my 2 younger brothers came in and took a little bit of that heat off of me, because they were better at sports than I was. But my oldest son is really great. He's a really great athlete. He also just picked up the guitar, and he's playing drums in the band at school. So he's kind of all over the place, and I see a little bit of myself in each one of them, So it's pretty cool to see that one of them's interested in science, and one of them's interested in music, and so it's pretty neat.
That's pretty diverse, I'd imagine. So now you got to be an expert in all of that.
Yeah. I'm a sports fan. I'm just not a great athlete, I guess.
Well, I know, like my middle son, his name's Brandon. one of the middle kids, right? Big into science and math, and he'll bring me homework and be like, "Can you help me out with this?" And I'm like, "Dude, you're in 8th grade, and I think people at NASA couldn't figure out these math equations."
Oh,
You run into those sort of situations?
Absolutely. Yeah, my oldest is in the 6th grade, but math was never my strong suit. I remember looking at his homework back when he was in the 4th grade and scratching my head like, man, I don't remember it being this hard in the 4th grade, but
Yeah, I don't remember it being that difficult at all. I remember like 4 plus 4 is 8. And I'm like, all right, I got it. I can balance my checkbook.
Oh, yeah.
But so let's talk a little bit about some of the music you're working on now. Stone to Death is your album, correct?
Yes.
And what is your newest single so everybody can go pick it up?
Well, we're still working on the first single, which is Stone to Death, the title track. I really love the song. I mean, I wish I had written it. That's one of the 3 songs I didn't write on the album, but it's just a really great song, powerful lyrics, and we've had nothing but great reviews on it so far, and it's doing well in radio, and so we're gonna keep pushing that. And then our second single is probably gonna be a song called "Hurt Good" on the album. And if anybody wants to check out the whole album, it's on Spotify, iTunes. You can buy the CD on jamesdupre.com. So.
All right, well, final question I have to ask is, going back to your parents. When you were on The Voice and people could talk, were your parents like bragging it up in town? I mean, were they in everybody's ear about that? Or did they get to the point where it was like, yeah, I know he's on The Voice? Because myself, I gotta be honest, I'd be like, yeah, that's my boy. Yeah.
Well, I'm lucky enough to have really great parents that have always supported me and been proud. Man, it was so funny last year before we could actually announce everything. My dad was, now we're in 2017, so this was 2015. My dad was, he would call me like every few days and be like, "Can we tell them yet? Can we say something yet?" I'm like, "No, I will let you know when we can announce it." And so this went on for like 2 or 3 months, and then finally they were just all over town, just telling everybody.
Well, can you blame them? I would be too. I'd be like, "Oh, it's my son."
Oh yeah.
Well, very cool. Make sure you go check out James Dupre's album "Stone to Death," which you can get on all your favorite streaming outlets, I'm sure. And I understand you're going to be coming into the station at some point to visit with us. At least that's what I keep being told. So that'd be cool to have you out. Love to have you.
I would love to.
Again, thanks to James Dupre for hanging out with us earlier this week via Skype. I really do appreciate you. And if you really like what you've seen here so far with Inside Nash Vegas, please do me a favor and subscribe to this channel. We'd love to have you watching it every week. We'll give you a new one every Saturday, running down the latest in Nashville and my take on what's going on. Plus, we'll be chatting with some of the folks out of Nashville, including artists, songwriters, and some of the insiders to give you really a good look of what goes on in Music City. Until then, I will catch you next week. Please feel free to listen to me on 99.9 KISS Country out of Asheville, North Carolina via the iHeartRadio app. Just type in 99.9 KISS Country in the search bar, Asheville, and you should be able to find us, and that's ASHEVILLE. All right, that's enough for now. Thank you so much for watching the very first episode of Inside Nash Vegas.